Thank you for tuning in. You're listening to Rainier Avenue Radio.world. This is Women Empowerment Talk Radio, and I'm your host, Carmelle Bias. Oh, we are in the studio once again on this beautiful day here in Seattle, Washington, with our guest via StreamYard, Miss Janie Sacco from the CSBA, Seattle District Chamber here. She is the Outreach and Marketing Specialist there. Hey, Miss Janie, how are you doing this afternoon?
I'm great. How are you, Carmel?
Good, good. Glad to have you on the show with us this afternoon. We are going to be talking about finances and loans for business owners that are out there, some of the services that SBA offers, and just really diving into this interview this afternoon. But before we jump in, as I usually do every first and third Thursday of the month, I like to go ahead and give those announcements out. First of all, Women in Business Expo Group. Oh, we have completed the website, y'all. This is exciting news. It is done, done, done. So we are very, very glad to share this information with you. The website is complete for those of you that are interested in learning more about the organization. You can definitely visit the website, wibeg.biz. You can go there. You will definitely find information, resources. There is a small business directory on there, and also to the e-commerce platform. So those small business owners that are out there that are looking to showcase and sell their products and services, you can do it online now with us. Women in Business Expo Group is the name of the organization. You want to visit wibeg.biz for more information and details. Also, too, want to let y'all know we still have that opportunity. We are looking for those guest speakers to come on out and be a part of our youth entrepreneurship program with Echo Glen Youth Detention Center. Oh, we will be putting on a mentorship program this year, working diligently with them to really inspire, motivate, get these young people excited about entrepreneurship. So if you are a speaker interested in helping young people, and getting them on a good career path of entrepreneurship, we definitely want to connect with you. Let us know, reach out. Definitely, you can email us at womeninbusinessexpogroup@yahoo.com for more information and details. Like I said, we are looking for guest speakers, those that just like to inspire young people, talk to them, help them, keep them encouraged, keep them uplifted. If you are one of those people, definitely you can contact us directly, Women in Business Expo Group at yahoo.com for more information and details. Also, too, want to let y'all know about an exciting event that's coming out again. Black Arts Love Spring 2022 is coming out again March 19th at the Langston Hughes Cultural Arts Center located in Seattle, Washington. This event is that Saturday, again, March 19th, 12 noon to 5 p.m. They're going to be creating this marketplace there. So, vendors, come on out. If you have something to sell there, you definitely want to take part in this event. This is the Black Arts Love Spring 2022 Marketplace event, which again will be March 19th, Saturday, 12 noon to 5 p.m. at the Langston Hughes Cultural Arts Center located in Seattle, Washington. So that's an event y'all don't want to miss. Definitely come on out, support those business owners that are out there doing the hard work, y'all. All right, all right. Again, I want to go ahead and introduce to you our guest this afternoon, I'm sorry, via StreamYard here, who is with us. We're going to be talking again, like I said, about finance, and just kind of going over some services here, some resources for small business owners. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? Let our listeners know a little bit more about yourself. Go ahead and give us some background.
Sure. Well, my name again is Janie, and I work with the Small Business Administration Seattle District Office, and I'm the Outreach and Marketing Specialist. I've been working in the finance industry for more than 30 years doing community-based small business lending, utilizing the Small Business Administration loan programs and other government programs to help really meet the needs of the small business community and help them grow and expand. So I've always been active in the financial education side of the small business community as well. And I do a lot of financial presentations and have done so for a long time. So it's really great giving me the opportunity to give back to the community. And really, I enjoy seeing the small business community meet their dreams of business ownership and seeing the businesses grow and the success of the families and their contributions to the community. So I'm having a great time doing this and meeting the needs of the small business community.
Yes, yes. Well, it sounds like then there is definitely some background there with you again in just supporting, being that supporting role for small business owners that are out there that are looking, for that support. Maybe is what it sounds like there. So why don't you let our listeners know, what inspired you to take on this position, Janie, with SBA?
Yeah, I think my desire to join the SBA really is rooted in trying to serve up the broadest brush of the small business community that I can to help them meet their needs and again do that dream fulfillment of owning a business and having it grow and really giving back to the community too. So I've really enjoyed doing this for years as a commercial lender, but now this really gives me an opportunity to do a much broader outreach through the Seattle district office, including the state of Washington and northern Idaho. So my outreach to the community is much stronger, broader, and I'm hoping to bring that success that we've had locally to the broader community.
Yes, yes. Now, it sounds like there you did mention some commercial lending experience there. Miss Janie, have you yourself personally ever been a business owner, small business owner?
Yes, actually, my husband and I own a small business right now,
Mhm.
and we have gone through the challenges of COVID-19 and the impact on our small business right along with everybody else.
Yeah.
So it's been pretty challenging, but I have been active in business ownership for over 8 years now.
Awesome, awesome. Great. Why don't you go ahead and let our listeners know? I mean, we know that you're the outreach and marketing specialist there with SBA. What is the mission behind SBA? Give us a little background there.
Sure. The Small Business Administration was designed to help Americans start, build, and grow businesses. It was created in 1953 as an independent agency of the federal government with the primary mission to aid, counsel, assist, and protect the interests of small business concerns, preserving free competitive enterprise while maintaining and strengthening the overall economy of our nation.
Yes, yes. Well, definitely a resource there that us as small business owners we want to utilize, and be able to reach out to for information. I know that there's a number of different services that SBA offers that us as entrepreneurs, we can definitely take a look at and utilize those services that are out there. Why don't you go ahead and let our listeners know, with SBA, is there a target audience? I mean, is there someone particular that SBA is looking for as a client?
Well, yes, our target audience really is any small business that is for our office in the state of Washington and northern Idaho. And the SBA does have size standard requirements depending on the type of industry that the business is in. So, for example, manufacturers and wholesalers, their size standard is based on the number of employees, whereas retailers, contractors, and service based businesses have size standards that are based on up to a 3 year annual average revenue. And the lenders that they're working with are responsible for reviewing the applicant's eligibility within their type of industry. So when you think about small for manufacturers and wholesalers, the number of employees can go up to 500. That's a pretty good size small business. For retailers, contractors, and then the service based businesses that are revenue driven, you can have a range right now of $7.5 million on average for the last 3 years, all the way up to 25 million. So again, a lot of that's just driven by the industry. And that's why we rely on the lenders to really make that determination with their applicant as to whether or not they meet our size standard for eligibility purposes. But that's a pretty broad brush of businesses. Our targeted audience also is limited to for profit businesses,
Mm,
and there are some non eligible types of businesses, such as businesses that are in speculative types of industries, oil catting, mining, things like that. But by and large, most of our for profit businesses are eligible for this particular program.
okay. Mhm. That's very interesting. Leads me to another question then. For those that maybe are interested in starting nonprofits, is SBA then able to help those entrepreneurs too?
Well, for the nonprofit side, they are not eligible for participation in the loan programs. But I believe that they should be able to work with our uh, our counseling arms, which are a variety of technical assistance providers in the community. And those technical assistance providers include SCORE, which is a senior corps of retired executives, the Washington Small Business Development Centers, and the Veterans Business Outreach Centers, and then the Women's Business Centers. And we have three of those throughout the state that are targeted specifically at women owned businesses. But the SCORE and the Washington Small Business Development Centers are located throughout the state of Washington and northern Idaho. And they are really designed to provide that technical assistance and one on one counseling and mentoring to help business owners in general uh, make determinations about how to operate, how to structure their business. Some businesses think they would be better served being nonprofits, but they may be better off being a for profit structure, or vice versa, depending on what they're doing. So, those technical assistance resources are out there and available to everyone.
Yeah, and it sounds like SBA has a great partnership with these other organizations there. So if you are a for-profit or nonprofit, either way, you can definitely get the support and assistance it is that you need from SBA is what I'm hearing.
Yes, I think that on that side. The lending, though, and the financing definitely is limited to the for profit sector.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Sounds great. Why don't you go ahead and let our listeners know? I know that during this time that many business owners have been affected by COVID, there's been a lot of challenges out there, definitely. Why don't you let our listeners know, maybe a barrier or something it is that you've seen in your experience coming from that lending side? What do you see that small business owners face as far as a barrier and an issue moving forward when it comes to business loans? What do you see is maybe an issue or a barrier there that we tend to struggle with as business owners?
Absolutely. There are a number of them actually that can prevent a business from obtaining funding and or growing. I think one of the first ones, especially that's related to a startup business, has to do with having at least 2 years of recent industry experience, and that's a prerequisite, even with an SBA guaranteed loan product. But people who are coming in and they have less than that 2 years really have a challenge obtaining funding. For existing businesses, having historic cash flow fluctuations where there may be a little bit of sporadic history in terms of the amount of the cash flow generated by the business over the last 3 years. Those are obstacles or barriers for them to be able to grow and expand their business. Sometimes it can be the amount of capital that is in the business, which impacts the calculation of a debt to equity ratio. And a debt to equity ratio is simply a calculation where you're taking the amount of the total liabilities and dividing it by the capital or equity in the business. Sometimes that ratio is higher than a lender would like it to be. And so that results in a barrier. Other times it has to do with a lack of collateral to support the loan amount on a liquidation value basis. And those collateral assets could be either in the business and or in the personal side of the relationship from the owners that have 20% or more ownership in the business. Sometimes a credit history problem where there may have been slow pays or a bankruptcy or collections or some other challenge in their credit score that may be lower than what a traditional lender would like to see. These are all obstacles or barriers to accessing a business loan. And the nice thing about the SBA guarantee program in particular is that for the majority of these obstacles, the program enables lenders to take another look at an application where maybe one or more of these issues resides, and then utilize the SBA program to help mitigate that risk. So, with the cash flow, they may be able, as a lender, to extend out the maturity of the loan to utilize the eligibility of the cash flow business does have. Or with the capital injection, that debt to equity ratio, maybe it's a little bit higher, but the SBA allows as little as a 10% capital injection in the business. So that would mean that a debt to equity ratio could be as high as $9 of debt for every dollar of equity. And again, that varies from lender to lender because they underwrite their own loans in conjunction with the SBA guarantee programs. But collateral or lack thereof is not independently a reason for a lender to have a decline of an SBA guarantee on a proposed loan. So when you're looking at the business assets, you have accounts receivable, inventory, furniture, fixtures, equipment, variety of things, and they all have their own liquidation or fire sale value that the lenders have to look at. And when there's insufficient liquidation value to support the loan amount or compare to the loan amount, then the lenders also look at the personal assets of each 20% or more owner to see if they can do a lien attachment in the personal assets of the owner. And in those situations, uh, that may help the lender do the transaction. But if there's not enough, then the SBA guarantee again helps mitigate that collateral risk where there is insufficient collateral to support the loan. And then in the case where you have personal credit history issues, um, again, if they've improved and they're showing performance and they've made an effort to improve their situation, but their score may not be exactly where it needs to be, lenders may feel comfortable still doing that loan in conjunction with an SBA guarantee to mitigate the risk. The one thing that the SBA guarantee cannot mitigate is that capacity or industry experience, because you really need to have that in order to be successful long term in a business.
That's exactly it, too. For those of you that are just tuning in, you're listening to Rainier Avenue Radio World. This is Women Empowerment Talk Radio, and I'm your host, Carmelle Bias. Oh, we are in the studio this afternoon with our guest, Miss Janie from SBA here, the Outreach and Marketing Specialist here via StreamYard. And we're just discussing finances here, and talking about business loans and just giving out that information there that all of us need, as entrepreneurs and educating ourselves on when it just comes to finances at this time. Miss Janie, why don't you go ahead? Let our listeners know, what types of loans are out there for small business owners? What should one be looking for who's a startup business?
Well, as a startup business, it is a challenge because we're in an economy where it's had a little bit of suffering going on, and a lot of the lenders, whether they're a bank or a credit union, they're trying to maintain their portfolio and make sure their existing client base is taken care of and doing well. So, whether it's a situation like it is right now or in better economic times, what the SBA does as part of its mission is help those business owners obtain financing through not only the traditional banks and credit unions, but also our micro lender pool. And the micro lenders that we have in our greater district community include Business Impact Northwest, Mercy Corps Northwest, New Roots, SNAP, and Ventures. And the majority of these lenders work throughout our district. Some of them are limited to specific geographic areas. But the micro lenders can offer loans typically up to $50,000. Some of them maybe have a little bit lower cap, and some of them may have a little bit higher cap. But these micro lenders are really designed to fill that gap where a commercial lender or a credit union is unable to provide financing. And they do an outstanding job because most of these micro lenders also offer some technical assistance for their borrowers, trying to ensure that they have continued success in their business even after they are provided the funding.
Mm.
In the underserved market areas, we also have a category of lenders called community advantage lenders, and they can do loans typically up to $250,000. And those community advantage lenders are Craft 3 and Evergreen Business Capital. So we try really hard to have a good mix of not only technical assistance, but also access to capital through these lending partners in our community.
Yes, yes. Well, definitely, there are a number of different resources it is for us to reach out to, when it comes to lending or when we're looking for finance. Let me ask you this question. Now, you mentioned a number of different organizations or partners there that
Yep.
SBA has up to $50,000. But do you know what the minimum is? Let's say we have a small business owner, and maybe they only need, 5,000. Are these organizations, able to accommodate those needs also too?
Yes, they absolutely are. Um, some of these lenders will go down to loans as small as $500. So, really, we want to make sure that people who want to do businesses have the opportunity regardless of their funding need. So, again, they're up to, you know, 35,000, 50,000. Some cases up to 350,000 based on their capacity and their funding sources. But on the smaller dollar side, they have the capacity to meet those dollar amounts that are smaller, but just as important for a business owner who may need a piece of equipment to help them start their business or have their business expand and grow. So those resources are available pretty much regardless of the dollar amounts.
Yes, yes. Well, that's good to know for us entrepreneurs that are out there that are looking to get started or, maybe expand, grow, market your business. Just need that extra funding. It is, the resources are out there, y'all. Definitely you want to check into this. Miss Janie, why don't you go ahead and let our listeners know how do they contact you for more information and details, if they want to learn more?
Sure, absolutely. You can reach us in the Spokane market area by calling 509-353-2800. In the Seattle market area, you may reach us by calling 206-553-7310. If you'd like to email us your questions, you may do so by emailing us at info@sdo.sba.gov. So that's INFO, S as in Seattle, D as in district, O as in office at sba.gov. And we in the Seattle market area are pretty much still working from home. So please feel free to leave a message on that message line, and we do our best to get back to you on the same day and as timely as possible.
Yes, yes. So definitely, again, for those of you that are interested in learning more, just receiving that information, learning more about those resources, you definitely want to reach out to Miss Janie and those at SBA for information and details. Also, too, Miss Janie, why don't you go ahead and let our listeners know too? Are there any upcoming events that SBA has that we should keep our eyes out for?
Oh, absolutely. And what I want to just say generically here is please sign up for our updates at sba.gov/updates so you can get notices on all of our upcoming events. Right now, we have going on 60-minute presentations every second Friday and fourth Friday of the month. We're going to continue doing that through May. The first Friday of the month, we are presenting information about the general SBA programs and resources in the community and how to utilize them. We do that again, the second Friday of the month at 10 a.m. And then the fourth Friday of the month, we are doing financing information on specific topics. So coming up Friday, the 25th, we will be discussing how to finance a business purchase. Other topics that will be coming up in the subsequent months include funding for working capital needs, your operating expenses, funding for debt refinance. So if you have existing business loans that you want to consolidate, we'll talk about how to qualify for that. And then we're also going to be talking about how to fund owner occupied commercial real estate transactions. So we have a great number of products coming up. We're looking at doing some other topics down the road too, and we'll be evaluating those as we go through the next few months here.
Yes, yes. So it sounds like a number of different opportunities for us as entrepreneurs to be able to check into, some events coming up. Are these events online or are they in person now?
They are all online for right now, because again, we are with the COVID compliance. We're working from home. We're slowly getting back, but all of these presentations, at least through the end of May, are all online. So they're accessible. If you sign up for them and you can't attend, you will still get the recording of it and the information that we have presented. So it's a great opportunity for you, whether you can attend or not. Get signed up, and we'll make sure that you get the copy of the recording.
Yes. Is there again a website it is that people can go to and register? Will you go ahead and give that to our listeners?
Yes, they can go to sba.gov and take a look at our events, and and then they can sign up on Eventbrite, and they will get links to do so when they go into sba.gov/WA and look at our event activities. And then they can transition over through the links to Eventbrite and get signed up that way.
Awesome. Awesome. Miss Janie, I want to thank you again for your time this afternoon. This has been a wonderful time of information here. Just a great avenue of wealth here when it comes to finance, and us for entrepreneurship, just building our knowledge here when it comes to finance. So I want to thank you again for your time this afternoon. And I want to thank the listeners once again for tuning in. You're listening to Rainier Avenue Radio.world. And this is Women Empowerment Talk Radio. And I'm your host, Carmelle Bias. Until next time, y'all.